All right, folks, John Rush here, host of Drive Radio. My son Richard Rush is behind the camera. This is going to be the review of the 2016 Chrysler 300. This happens to be the 90th anniversary edition. So let's get right into it. Let's go to the front. You can see the nice floating wing emblem in the grille. Really good looking car. Muscular stance to it. Love the headlights. Love the way this car looks at night with the LEDs that come around the headlamps themselves. Richard will show you that in just a minute. I, for one, love the look of this car. I like the dark color in these cars. It's a nice, classy, luxury car look. This car, believe it or not, this particular vehicle, 90th edition or 90th anniversary edition, $38,000 and some change. So this is the base model. The 90th anniversary edition adds about $3,000 to the price, and as you can tell, it's a great looking car. Cool looking aluminum wheels. Love the dark color. It's got a fantastic interior in it, which we'll get into in just a little bit. This particular vehicle, Wards voted this particular car and the interior one of the 10 best interiors for 2016. And again, all of this, let me go to this side over here, all of that, again, under $40,000 for this particular vehicle. Now, you can get a 300, much higher price than this. I understand that. There's 5 different models to choose from, all the way up into their Platinum Edition, which we've driven. We've done some reviews on some of the higher models, but I tell you what, this particular car that we just got done driving for the past week, $38,000 and some change. Everything you get in this car, we average 24 miles to the gallon, 300 horsepower V6, all-wheel drive. This car really is a great buy, great value. I'll tell you what, let's do this. We'll go for a quick drive. I'll come back, we'll walk through the interior, and then I'll give you my opinion, which you've already partly heard of, when it comes to the 2016 Chrysler 300. All right, folks, going to take a quick drive now in the 2016 Chrysler 300. We've closed the panoramic roof, which, by the way, great option on this car, Chrysler. You did a great job, especially including it in this 90th anniversary package. $3,000, great package, by the way. So as we get into it, before we start driving, I'll show you the backup camera here in just a minute. The 90th anniversary edition does come standard. Let me turn this down so it's not so noisy. The vents down. It does come standard with the 8.4-inch touchscreen, which I've got a, we've got a Grand Cherokee that my wife has. We'll talk about that in a little bit because my wife compares the heated seats in this to her car. I also have this in my new Dodge truck. I love this system. It's easy to navigate. It's easy to control. It works very well. And real quick, I will show, and apologize for my hands, but everything is touch controlled. So you can actually go to the seat heaters here. You can go to the climate control here. You can go to your apps. And one thing they've changed for this year too, which is really a cool feature, is you can drag and drop your apps around depending upon how you want the screen to actually be laid out. So it does have Siri's eyes free, but it does not have the the CarPlay for Android or the Apple. Richard, what do they call the Apple side of it? Apple CarPlay. That is not included, and it doesn't look like that's going to be a Chrysler Dodge option in the near future. If that's a deal killer for you, it's not for me personally, but it might be for you. That is not going to be a Dodge or a Chrysler edition anytime soon that we can see. But again, in the Uconnect system, you can drag and drop the apps around, make it work for you, and you can see it does come with Pandora, iHeart. There's different things that are in the apps, and you can actually control the car outside with your cell phone. So in other words, you can turn the car on and off, do all the things you typically can do with telematics. Not going to get into great detail in that because you can look up all of that on the Chrysler website for yourself. It does have a nice storage compartment up here on top for your sunglasses, which I really, really like. And of course, all of your sunroof controls, lighting, all of that is controlled up here. Let's take a quick drive. As I go into reverse here, you'll notice the backup camera comes on, and it does have the dynamic grid line. So as I get closer over here to the curb, and in this all-wheel drive, you'll notice we can get into this higher snow, and it won't be any problem for us to get in and out of this at all. You can back it right into the curb. Works out really, really well, and the big screen is really, really excellent, easy to see. Before we start driving in the forward mode here real quick, I do want to point out, I love the layout of the dash here. It's got great gauges. They're easy to see. You can scroll through the screen here. There's a system setup screen. There's messages that it'll show you. You can see what radio station you're on. All of your trip info is there. All your fuel economy, again, 23.9 is what I've just been averaging. Really a great layout. They've done a great job. Easy to use, easy to navigate off the wheel. One thing, one negative on this car, this 90th anniversary edition. Heated seats, they're not ventilated, not a big deal there. But Chrysler, I wish for the price you would have went ahead and added the heated steering wheel. That would have been a nice addition, especially in our area right now where it's been below zero at night. Having a heated steering wheel, that would be fantastic. One thing that they do that's nice that Chrysler I really like, and Fiat, if you guys are listening, the ability to, when you automatically start the car and it's under a certain temperature, it automatically turns on the heated front seats, which again helps get things warmed up when you climb in the car. So that's a really nice addition. All right, let's start driving. All-wheel drive again, which our weather here in Colorado, you can look at the roads in front of us. We had some snow that came in over the weekend here recently. Roads have been very slick this past week in certain spots, and you can see right here the snow-packed roads. This car hasn't missed a lick. It has absolutely worked fantastic. And I'll give you a little side note for some of you listening. We've had two cars this week. It's not often that we have two cars in the same week, but this particular past week we did. Richard right now is actually driving a new BMW X1. And you know what? Even when we got that car the other day, I've continued to drive the Chrysler 300 because I like the way this car drives, the way it handles, the way it rides, the quietness inside, the all-wheel drive. This car works fantastic. So honestly, I decided to keep driving the under $40,000 Chrysler 300 while Richard's been driving the $50,000 BMW. And frankly, I've been very pleased. That's how great this car works and how much I enjoy driving it. So, tell you what, let's go back. We'll walk through the rest of the interior. This is a fantastic car. I'll give you my opinion at the end of the review. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed the drive. And again, as we always say, get out, get in these vehicles yourselves. You need to get your own family, yourself, whatever you do with the vehicle. Do as much of that as you can in the vehicle so you can really determine whether it's the vehicle for you. As I say a lot, and I haven't said it in the past few reviews, but I want to make sure I remind everybody, I'm one today that believes in today's world there's not too many bad cars on the market. They're all very, very competitive. They're competitively priced. There are just a lot of great cars in the market today. There's a lot of bad buying choices, and a lot of that comes from people not doing their research, listening to too many reviews, and I know you guys are watching and listening to this one, but you know what? It doesn't matter what anybody says about a car. Everybody has a little different feel and a little different love for a particular vehicle. You need to get out and get inside of each vehicle and go drive it for yourself to determine if it's a good fit for you. And no offense, sales guys that are watching, a 10-minute test drive is not enough. We learn so much in driving these vehicles for a week at a time, things that we wouldn't know the first day that we learn by the time we get to the 7th day. You really need to get into a vehicle for an extended length of time if you can to really understand what the vehicle is about. But watch all these videos that we put out, some of the other ones that are out in the marketplace, and then gather as much information as you can on the particular vehicle. Going to the trunk right now, though. Again, 2016 Chrysler 300. Now, I've seen some reviewers talk about how this has a mid-sized trunk. I would debate that. When you look at the size of the trunk and what you can actually get in it, and I've had a lot of different luggage and things in the back of these cars, this is a very roomy trunk. It works out really well. There's plenty of room in the back. Really, it's a nice setup. It works great. It's a great car. Again, some people would say, well, maybe the trunk is a little bit too short. Again, you're going to have to be the one to get out and be the judge of that for yourself. Get out, look at the vehicle itself. Not an automatic opening and shutting trunk, as you could just notice. We did have to raise it up ourselves, but again, very easy to close, not a real big deal. And the push button for the trunk, kind of cool. They've got the eye for the backup camera here, and the push button for the trunk, if I wanted to open it without the key fob, is just right there. So kind of a neat thing they've done to hide things in the back, give it a nice clean look. So to get into the back seat, I will say, nice, roomy back seat. This particular seat, again, is set for me at 5'10". Snow brush moved here. 5'10", and you can see, even if somebody was 6 foot or above, I still have plenty of room in the back seat. Very well apportioned inside. Dual panoramic roof, which comes in this 90th edition, the 90th anniversary edition car. As you go through the rest of the interior, you can see nice apportionments back here. Couple of USB ports, couple of vents. They are not heated seats in the rear. Not a deal killer, especially at $38,000 and some change. Nice soft touch throughout the panel, throughout the side panels here. Nice armrest here, and of course you've got your water bottle cup holder right there. And there is, I should mention, Full down center console in the back with 2 other cup holders, and there is a little storage compartment right here. So again, very well apportioned for the back seat. Let's jump around into the front seat. All right, folks, now we're in the front seat of the 2016 Chrysler 300, and one of the best things I like about the Chrysler 300 is the front seat. I love the way the center stack is designed. Everything is easy to find. We talked about that a little bit in the driving portion. Great apportionment on the seats. If Richard, you can get this, you can see very, very comfortable, full leather. I will say one complaint that my wife has had, not me in particular, but my wife. It's been very, very cold here in Colorado. In fact, right now it's about 10 degrees outside. Her complaint is on this particular seat heater. If you look right down here, Richard, and show, she complains that there's not enough heat out into the sides, that it's just the center section that she feels like gets hot. And when she mentioned that, I've kind of noticed on my own on this particular driver's seat, she's correct. It really doesn't heat as wide as, for example, she's got a Grand Cherokee, and her Grand Cherokee actually has a wider seat heater in it. Again, is that a deal killer? Not necessarily. It's just something you need to make a mention of. Richard, if you want to, show them the side panel over there. In fact, you'll see the hole for the ducting where you actually have a defroster for the side window there. Works out really, really well. We've noticed that in this cold weather, that this car works great in cold weather. Remote start on this vehicle, which I don't think I've mentioned yet. That actually works fantastic, especially in this cold weather. But you'll see nice soft touch throughout. Great center stack, nice console in the middle. It's deep. It's got the ability to store things. You can see your power ports and your auxiliary ports back here in the back. 2 cup holders here in the middle with a slot in the middle. You can either stick a cell phone or something else in, plus a pocket here, plus another pocket up here in the front with another power port. Dual climate controller included is included in this particular edition. And again, this is the 90th anniversary edition of the 300. Comes in at under $40,000 at $38,000 and some change. I tell you what, I'll hop out and I'll real quick give you my opinion of this particular vehicle. All right, folks, our opinion, I should say my opinion of the 2016 Chrysler 300, and you've seen this before in some of our reviews. I really like the 300. Richard, my son, maybe not so much. He kind of feels like this is a little bit of an older generation car. Maybe it's because I'm 51 that I really like it, although I've had a lot of younger people comment on the fact that they like this car also. This is the same chassis, basically the same platform, I should say, the Dodge Charger is built on, and you can buy a Dodge Charger for really about the same price as this 300, depending upon how you equip it, maybe a little bit, maybe slightly less. I will tell you though, if I had my choice between buying the Charger and buying this 300, I'd buy the 300 all day long. I just like the car. It runs well, it drives well, it's quiet, it's comfortable. I like the interior apportionments. I like the way they've laid things out on the inside. This is a great value of a car for $38,000. What are the cons to the car? Frankly, I really don't have any. I think for the car, the way it's priced, the way it's equipped, I think it's a great value in the luxury car market. There's a lot of cars out there that cost a lot more than this, that don't have the creature comforts that this particular car has, that cost a lot more. And remember, there's 5 models of this to choose from, so you don't have to settle for this car. As we went through the interior, you notice there were some things this car doesn't have that some other cars it competes with may have, but you got to look at the price. It's $38,000 and some change. So again, go check this car out at your local Chrysler dealer. Tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.